Here we go. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Sunday Morning Grace. I'm Reverend Marianne. It is May 22, and I am joined here by the beautiful Reverend Signe Nelson. Good morning, Cindy.
Good morning. How are you today?
I am wonderful. And before we get started, just want to say that Reverend Dawn Pink Anderson was supposed to be joining you this morning, but Mercury retrograde apparently is playing a role here.
Let's hope it's not the hail.
Yeah, they did have some significant weather yesterday. So Dawn, we will get you back on Sunday Morning Grace shortly. We promise, and because she's always got such beautiful messages to share with everyone. But to get us started right now, I am first going to give you a chance, Cindy, to just say a few words, and I'm going to get us going on the Living with the Angels group, and then we'll have our opening blessing.
Excellent. I was so excited to be a part of this Sunday Morning Grace this morning because I love miracles and all that means. Is it grace? Is it miracles? Is it mercy? And I really love the idea of teasing that out. And miracles come in sizes big and small. And I love how the universe is always communicating with us, always winking at us, letting us know we're paying attention. And if you ask us, we will perform a simple miracle for you in every moment. So I'm excited about this subject today.
It is a very juicy topic. And there's just so much that you can, just say about the whole thing. So I am still just sharing us. Give me one more minute.
Good morning out there. No, in thinking about miracles and about grace, I was doing some research, and one of the things that I read is that grace is that God gives us what we deserve when we don't deserve it. And mercy is what God doesn't give us when we deserve it. So I don't necessarily follow that tough love line per se, but I think there's something to be said about, yes, that's true. Not that we are undeserving. I think we're all deserving souls. That's the part I have a difficulty with, but the point is well taken.
All right. Now we're really ready to really get rolling here with our opening blessing. And for those of you who are just joining us on the Living with the Angels page, Reverend Marianne, Reverend Signe Nelson here, and missing Reverend Dawn Pink Anderson. And Dawn, we're trusting that all is well with you, and the alarm just got sent for the wrong time. So let's get started with an opening blessing and get on with our topic of miracles. So this morning, I actually pulled a card to get us started, and I don't know if you can see it, but it is from the Great Eastern Oracle deck, and it's actually a card that was sent to me as a gift from Reverend Alvia, along with my new Tennant stone. And it's so beautiful, and just want to take this blessing and just gather us as we talk about miracles and talk about that new 13th tenet. And I love all beings with an open heart and an open mind. And isn't that ability to love one another unconditionally, just love, pure love, with an open heart and an open mind. And it means I love you regardless of whether I agree with you or I disagree with you, regardless of what angst may be coming to us from you, whether you're a nuisance or whether you're somebody who is just always there for me. I'm going to love you, because love is what's so important. And this card really kind of generates that, because as we're looking at it, I see this woman in this huge vortex looking up to the sky and just taking in the miracles of life. And that's what I would love to hear us discuss today, is taking in the miracles of life. And Signe, I'm going to turn it over to you to get started with that discussion.
Sure. And I think that's an interesting thing, being able to take in the miracles of life, because the universe is paying attention to us and watching us. You know, our beloveds in heaven are doing that, guiding that process as well. So it behooves us to be aware and to ask for the miracles and for the grace that comes with it. Miracles, I think perhaps some people may think, you know, are only historical moments when God intervened and prevented a war from happening. But, and there are certainly things we can look at to speak to that. But there are common everyday miracles that we have in our own life, and to appreciate, I think, when they happen, and the support and the wink from the universe. That's what I love.
And sometimes I think that the miracles that we're receiving are not perceived as miracles initially. It's, why are you doing this to me? It's that human response of, why is this happening? And we don't even see that it's a miracle until it's actually, the whole situation has played out. And I think, for example, last summer, and with Krista and her illness, and she had a heart attack. She was in the hospital. She came home very quickly, and we seemed to be doing well. And then we're home for a week, and I'm watching her fail. And the doctor finally insisted that I bring her into the hospital because they felt that she needed a stronger diuretic. And what was actually happening was Krista was in congestive heart failure. Had we not gone, had this doctor not insisted, because Krista said, give me a couple more days and let's see what happens, and the doctor insisted. Had the doctor allowed her to listen to her own body, which was really just a fear of going into the hospital, the outcome may not have been the same. So what, at that point, Krista was perceiving as a nuisance and a, why are they doing this to me, and I don't want to do it, turned out to be a miracle because it saved her life. And so while we're kind of going through these motions, we're kind of going, you know, we're being dragged and stomping through it. And that really is the impossible being possible.
I love that. And you are absolutely right. When we are thick in the middle of something, we just have to have faith that we are being led to a greater purpose. And you're right, we do it kicking and screaming. And ultimately, then we find out it was for our greater good. And thank God that you know, that the doctor was insistent, because, you know, God uses everyone and everything as vehicles to deliver messages to us. And it, again, behooves us to be paying attention to that. And what a grace that there was someone else higher than that kicking you back there. Yeah.
And it took Mom out of the place of going, oh, but don't you think we really should go? Because Mom was really kind of thinking, I think we should go. But it took Mom out of that place of being anything but Mom, who's loving and supportive, and said, I can't, the doctor really feels strongly about it.
Right.
So,
right.
you know, I was just following doctor's orders. So,
you know, thank God we have that higher authority sometimes. That's exactly.
Have you ever had an experience like that in your life where you were going through something and you knew it was the right thing to do, but you were kind of being dragged and pulled along, and then when you, at the end, you realized I was meant to do this, and it's like at the end of the day, it was the right thing. It was really the miracle that you just weren't seeing.
Yes. Now that you say it in that way, I had a great job working at a local community college. At the time, both of my parents were diagnosed with lymphoma, I quit my job. I moved up to live with them both. And that was February. And come June, they had both been given a clean bill of health. And I remember thinking first, oh, that's great. And then my next thought was, there goes my job security, because of course I had just totally transported myself from one state to another. And I knew that I was still in the process of the journey when I decided to come home. I couldn't get a job there. There was nothing else to support myself. So I had to come back to Massachusetts. And through a series of different places to live, I was homeless, honestly, not in a bad way, but just in a restructuring my life. And when I finally landed in the place just right, I remember thinking, okay, God, you brought me through this because I had to have all of those experiences, and many of them uncomfortable, but coming to the realization that being back in Massachusetts was where the new growth was going to start. So I was delivered. I was completely in a shambles, but I was delivered and finally could begin putting my life together again. So didn't appreciate it at the time at all, but realized the grace of it afterwards. And here I am.
And I think so too. What actually brings us to the miracle is usually a sadness, a challenge, a difficulty, a hurdle. The miracles don't happen when life is just humming along the way it's supposed to and the road is straight. It's when we come to that fork in the road and we either have a decision to make or there's something that we have to overcome. That's when the miracles happen. And if we look at, and I'm just getting this now, but if we look at each challenge as an opportunity to be part of a miracle, it almost feels like it lightens the heaviness of that challenge, of that hurdle, of that detour. If we shift that perception and say, I'm being given an opportunity to be part of something miraculous.
Well, and so I think that's an interesting point that you make, because when we allow grace to be in our space with us, that really does open the space for miracles. And I think it has to do with the expectation and the possibility that well, we have created space for that to happen. So of course something wonderful can happen because we have allowed that, we have entertained that possibility. We haven't shut it down and refused to believe that this is all pain. Mm-hmm. So I absolutely agree with that.
And one of our tenets, I trust it's all good.
Right? I mean, and you have to at the end of the day. At the end of the day, you have to believe that things are there's a reason for it. And the other part of that is, what is my piece of that? And I think when we do some self-reflection, we are also able to understand this happened and this happened and this happened, leading me through the pain. As you say, it's a dark night of the soul often before the miracle comes. We have to do our work. We have to experience all of that to get there.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we talked about, before we started the session this morning, we talked about just, kind of just being open to it and being open to whatever life has happened, and, contracts that may have been made before we came into this body, whether we believe we agreed to it or not, we did. And each experience not only helps us grow, helps our heart grow, our soul, our spirit, our very being grow, but we're also modeling that behavior for others. And even with our own children, we want to make their life easier. We want them to not experience what we've gone through. So, we're going to tell you what to do because we don't want you to live through the same pain we did. But so often they need to experience that for themselves.
Absolutely. There is no greater teacher than experience. Yeah, and that can be painful sometimes, for
Yeah,
sure, for
yeah.
sure.
You know, it would be nice to be the trailblazer and just don't do what I did. But, you know, it's kind of like, but I can do it better. I won't
Yes,
do the same things you did.
yes. You know, and that goes back to our children being our greatest teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can be painful.
Well, on that note, I feel complete. Do you?
I do. I think we all experience miracles in our own way if we're paying attention.
And that's the key.
Yep.
To always be paying attention and be open to the miracle.
Absolutely open to the possibility. Yep. And I think that's where positive thinking comes in. So yeah, I'm good.
Yay. All right. Ready to go to the tenets?
I am.
All right. Let me pop that up here on the screen for us. And let us get us going. And as you're feeling guided, just let these words, these beautiful 13 tenets, just really sink into your soul. And as you're going through the week, which one feels meaningful for you? I open my heart with deep gratitude and intend today to master my spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical energies. I am dedicated to my spiritual practice. I surrender to my soul's purpose through sacred prayer. I own my guidance.
I live in partnership with my angels. I serve with a loving heart. I am compassionate in every moment.
I trust it's all good. I allow immediate forgiveness. I honor my truth.
I listen to the spiritual messages within my physical body. I express myself creatively. I love all beings with an open heart and an open mind. I am one with Mother Earth, and so it is.
And so it is.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Excellent.
Yes.
Well, I want to thank you for joining us. I look forward to welcoming you back again sometime very soon. We will be, next month, we'll be wrapping up for this year of Divine Order of the Sacred Rose, and then we'll go through June, and then in July and August, we take a little recharge break, and then we'll be back in September with live sessions, and I look forward to welcoming you sometime in the fall again. And thank you for being such a bright light to our community.
Thank you. It has been a pleasure always to be with my Boston cohort. Boston strong, baby. Anyways, I would love to finish off with a poem that I wrote and just fell upon, and it's a perfect encapsulation of all of this, and I'll make it quick. And it's called Magic, Miracles, Mystery, and Grace. It is in here that we must take our space. It is in the moment when first we ask to be given a chance at what we grasp. The universe is listening close by to grant a wish seemingly on the fly. A wish it may be or want to be granted. It is our gift as a child of the most enchanted. So
that's lovely.
Thank you.
You have a beautiful way with words.
Oh, thank you.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. And thank you for so much for being you and your beautiful smile and brightening our morning and starting our week in such a beautiful way.
Aho, aho.
And we will see you all again next week. Reverend Elvira and Reverend Peter will be introducing our next topic for the month of June. And it's a juicy one. So we'll see you then.
All right. Blessings.
y'all.
Blessing.
Have a
Bye-bye.
great day,
Take care.
Cindy.
Be
Love
well
you.
yourself as well, Marianne. Love you.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.